Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is Craft with Five. This is a collaboration put on by Bourbon Creek Crafts here on YouTube, our friend Beth. And there is a link in the description box down below. So it's a playlist of all the collaborators. For Craft with Five, Beth gives us 5 prompts each month. And I messed it up this month. I just checked the list and I did, but I'm calling it. It was circle, I went with oval, coloring medium, colored pencils, stamped image, I think, or image stamp, something else I already forgot, and a border. I have a white border, how about that? I forgot border for sure, but I think I covered the other ones. Usually each of us talk about the 5 items in the video. If you haven't already watched Beth, watch her and she'll tell you the 5 items and then you'll know what I forgot. It worked for inspiration and that's the point of it, right? I have a process video following this so you can see kind of how I put this together. Noni made these Amy letters. They're glitter paper and they're all layered up and amazing. And I have the circle and I just colored it with colored pencils, the bird and the flower and stuff. And it's kind of a stretch card for me, wild colors. But that yellow glitter, that's just fun. All right, I somewhat know the prompts. I need black. I like this butterfly paper a lot with this. The tone, the colors. I don't like the scale, and especially by the time I put this over it, and then if you think about, we're only gonna use this much of it, I just don't love it. I'm gonna try this one, which is really wild. Look, this is why I have this paper. Noni was worried I wouldn't have any really girly things, but I have some stashed. I'm gonna try this one with a big black oval on it because I think it might knock it back enough that it won't be so bold. I don't want my paper to be louder than my bird. So let's chop this down and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, 4, 5 1/4. Okay, so first of all, it's less loud because it's a smaller piece. Then I think this would fit on it. It would. So if we cut this, you're like, doesn't she have a fancy die cutter on the counter? Yeah. It's not plugged in and I don't actually know where the cutting mats are, but I'm sure they're in the little cutting mat section. With this, they're probably actually right where this was. See, I'm still learning where things go. I talked about that in the video, but I don't know if you've seen it yet. I don't think you have, actually. Coming soon. Okay, now, when we take this black mat and we put it on here, it's still not quite the right tones. I used, I think, a little bit of orange and a little bit of pink in my flowers. Let's see. I really want to use these wild yellow letters. And I had a layout that I was playing with. This is not the oval that goes with that set. Like, I thought it was going to be the same size. So, I don't think it is. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's the right shape. Let's find one a little smaller. Maybe a little more suited to that. I guess it doesn't have to be from that set even. But it would be nice. I mean, isn't that the point of having nesting ones? I know. If you haven't been with me the whole time, you're like, why does that lady have all her dies on that? Don't store your dies like this. It is not a good idea. I'm pretty sure if I'm not super careful, they'll get bent. Okay, let's try a slightly smaller one because I want less of the floral, but I need room for my letters. I think this one's actually from the collection. All it's gonna do is shorten, or from the nesting set, all it's gonna do is shorten it up though, but maybe that'll give me more room at the ends to work with. These yellow letters caught my eye and I thought, oh, that would be fun. I mean, I think they were actually the inspiration for the card itself. I had the items I was gathering, but the yellow Amy was like, what could I make with yellow? I guess I could have gone blue and yellow. It didn't even occur to me. But I was thinking super girly because Noni made me a pack of new Amy's and they're really cutesy. Okay, now the reason I laid that out strangely and then taped it together is because if I don't keep the die in the right spot, I won't actually come out with a perfect oval. So I stamped the bird and colored it a couple days ago, and then I was gonna come back to it. And here I am. And I'm not really one for coloring, but because there was coloring medium on the list, I was inspired to. Then, okay, and then maybe so we have our bird facing our, oh, this might work. This might work. I think we can make this work. Okay, let's go here and here and here. The letters don't pop as well on that wild paper as I thought they would, but I think because they're layered up and they're glittered, I'm gonna leave them. And this card already has a lot going on. Let's put it on a card base and see if we like it. It always gives it that finish. I could ink the edges of the paper black too, just for a little more fun. I don't know if I will. Okay, it's not my absolute favorite card ever. Probably because it's a lot of pink, but it's pretty cute. I think I'm gonna bring this down a little tighter, like around the oval. So I think what I'll do is maybe put the oval on first and then put the letters on top. What do you think? Also, there's something a little weird about this card base, so we need to trim the end off. It's just the back is long. So when in doubt, just tighten it up a little. There we go. Let's wipe off the cat hair. Now, I haven't checked the list lately because remember I'm making this video in reverse order and the list is on my phone, but I think it was circle, which I used oval, black, coloring medium. I don't know how we got here actually. Image stamp, was that one of them? I don't know. I'm gonna assume that I got it or I got close and we'll just put it together. The other thing we could do if we wanted it, maybe we do, let's see. Do we want it a little extra fancy? Maybe not. It might be getting pretty thick as it is. I'm not going to put anything else on the top of it right now because I know that something has to go inside it, and so I don't want it to be too thick or overweight. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to try and get my bird kind of straight, and if it's not perfect, we just say, well, that's how we wanted it. Look at the back of this paper. I mean, I definitely thought I was going to be using this side. Now, if you absolutely needed to make a really girly pink and yellow card, and you didn't have pink and yellow patterned paper, you could probably find some crayons, some colored pencils, some watercolors, some sort of something to make your own background with. I experimented a little with just, ooh, what if I go this way? With just the bird, and it just was bland. Like for me, I needed patterned paper. And I probably needed, you know, one of those really girly ones that I gave away. Not sorry. No, I like it better the way we had it. I should have taken a picture of it, but see, you're hogging the camera. I think more like that. I'm going to glue this in the center and down as low as I can to give us room. Maybe not as low, but pretty low. Maybe like a 1/4 inch up. This challenge really forces me to, I don't know, work with things I wouldn't necessarily have worked with. It's just like Smash Our Stash in that respect, so I really like it. And not just basic gray where I wouldn't have gotten it out. I mean, let's be honest. I would not have colored this bird and done all that. I'm not a colorer. I'm gonna put the A down, then I'm gonna put the Y down, and then I'm gonna make the M. I'm gonna put the M somewhere in the middle and land it. Now, this card base is a little bowed. I should have built this separately, not on here, but what I'll do to overcome that is I'll open this up and we'll get the glue. And then before you get out your wet glue, figure out what you're gonna use to lay on top of these. If these are thick, Noni made them really thick and glitter paper, and so they're gonna fight me a little bit when I glue them down. But if I get this right, they'll be beautiful and you'll never know. I think I'm going to try the cutting mat. It's not going to be perfectly flat because they're going to go up on this ridge a little, but I think it'll work enough to lay them down. Lots of people use their phone. I can't use my phone because you're using my phone. And my phone in this case might not be big enough anyway. If I wasn't trying to film, I would probably just do these one at a time and glue it and then let it set. And I would use this. That spice bottle full of heavy things. Tony made one that has pretty beads or glass in it. Anything that's flat and heavy. And that you're not afraid to get a little bit crafty. I mean, I wouldn't use like your grandma's Bible or anything. Okay. So let's set that one. What do you think? You can probably see better than I can. We'll set that one right there while we put the glue on the Y. And then I'll lift the bottle up so I can see before I place the Y down. And again, remember die cuts can't spell. I don't have to trace the letter or the word. I just have to get glue on the edges. And any place that I think is going to curl in this situation. Okay, now I'm gonna move, I'm gonna lift straight up, I'm not gonna slide. I'm gonna lift this up off the A. Lay this, right about there would be cute. Put that right about there. Because the A touches it, I think I want the Y to also. And then, as I suspected, the A does not wanna lay down, or the Y, so I'm gonna put this on here because it was on the A for a minute. I also have these rocks that Tony gave me. They may not be perfectly flat, but in this case, I already got a weight on there once. It's probably even overkill with art glitter glue on a hot day to put something on it again. Like it's probably already set, but just in case. These have little hearts punched out of them. Can you see that? So I'm trying to get the glue kind of around them. I don't think the place where the hearts will curl. I don't think that's where the curling is going to occur anyway. I think it's at the top and the bottom. Okay, now we need room to work. Lift them, don't slide them, just in case. Move the junk out of the way. There's some kind of debris in there. Paper hairs, you know. And then, oops, I've got some paper hairs. Glitter paper. I don't know how she wasn't frustrated making these, just the thought of it. And then now I don't love that the M is higher, but it's a little late for that, and it is curling, so I'm going to take this bottle and I'm going to put it right there. And then once I know it's kind of set, I want to spin this because I want to be sure the top and the bottom are getting the weight. And this bottle's pretty heavy because it's glass and it's full of little metal trinkets. Okay, the A and the Y seem very set. I'm gonna give that a sec and then maybe put the cutting mat. But it's not, like I said, it's not perfectly flat. Other times your cutting mat, well, neither is my cutting mat. Let's use this one. Other times your cutting mat will work really well. And then on my cutting mat, I'm gonna put this bottle and some rocks. There we go. It's very, very formal. On the inside, I'll put a scrap of paper and it'll be cute. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing. Be sure to check out the other participants. This is a playlist collaboration, which means if you click the link down below, and I remembered to link to the proper playlist for this month, it'll take you to the other Craft with 5 people and you can see what everybody made based on the prompts this month. Bye-bye.